Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video of many more to come where I go over different Atlas farming strategies. So last league I did a bunch of different Atlas trees and farming strategies in order to see which one are the best and how much money you can make from each one of them. And in this video I will go over the Maven boss rushing strategy that I have been trying out over the past couple of days. And it was quite good. I actually tried this last league. And this league there were some changes to how you do this and exactly how it works, so I really wanted to try this out again, and it turned out quite good. Even though I was lucky at times, it was still a pretty good farming strategy overall. So let's go over what the actual strat is and how it works. So here we have the Atlas tree, and I will quickly go over what is the main point of this Atlas tree, and then we will talk about how you make the strat actually work. So in the Atlas tree, the main things that we focus on are the most toys, destructive play, conquered conquerors, remnants of the past, and vivid memories. We also have all the shaping ones, shaping the world, shaping the mountains, and shaping the skies, and all these smaller 5% chance to have tier 1 higher maps as well. This is better for sustain overall. Then we focus very heavily on every single adjacent map drop chance node and every single map drop duplication node as well. On top of that, we have the Atlas currency chance, so we get some extra currency from killing the bosses, and we also have the scarab chance from getting scarabs from killing bosses as well. So this is the Atlas, and I will also link this PoE planner in the description if you want to pick this up and try it out for yourself. So the main thing that you want to focus on when doing this strategy is that you want to completely ignore all the monsters in the map basically, except for the ones that are on your way to the boss. This is a boss rushing strategy, meaning we rush to the boss. There is nothing else that matters. These maps can be run without any rarity. You can run these maps white. And why is that? Well, because quantity and rarity does not actually affect map drops from bosses or mobs. So you can run these maps however you want to. I usually just run them white because it doesn't matter, and that just means I can kill the bosses and everything faster. And basically, you run to the boss, you kill it, and the destructive play will make Maven spawn a bunch of other bosses as well that you kill, and obviously then we try to loot as many Conqueror, Shaper, Elder, and Synthesis maps as possible, along with other maps that we also have in the game as well. Like if you drop a bunch of like Dunes maps, you know, you're going to be able to sell them for bulk and stuff like that as well. But yeah, that's the main focus of this. We also obviously get some invitations that you can either sell or run yourself later on. For example, Elder Slayer invitation is about 100 chaos and stuff like that. And then after we run 9 maps, we obviously do the Maven 10 fight invitation. And with an average of 1.5 splinters per invitation, or even 2 splinters per invitation if you're doing them at like 70-80% quantity. That means that, you know, after like 5 or more invitations, you will have a Maven's Writ as well, and they're going for about 1.2 div each. So this is quite a good farming strategy for people who are lazy and don't really want to care about like running around and picking up a bunch of loot everywhere and doing all these crazy strats. This is literally just run to the boss, kill it, pick up your loot, go again. When I was doing this, I had an average speed of like 7 to 10 minutes per 9 maps, including the invitation. But I have a quite bad build for this, because this is like a very low like farming build that I did not really invest that much into. So I didn't really have the fastest speed, I didn't really have the highest damage. And I was actually struggling sometimes when I was doing my invitations, because I ran them at like 60% quantity, and sometimes with like more monster life and stuff like that, they would actually take a while to kill, and sometimes I would even die. So if you have an even better build that is more optimized to do this, you will be able to do this faster and therefore make money faster as well. When I did this, I was making about 6.75 div per hour, and we will go into that more later. I tried it out on stream, I ran 200 maps, and I also ran 200 maps off stream the other day as well. And it felt pretty damn good doing this. So yeah, it's quite a nice strat, but you can even make more money if you're faster and more efficient. Now, one thing that a lot of people will probably ask about, and this is something that I heard a lot of discussions about last league, and I'm not sure exactly how it worked last league, and if they've changed it or it's always been like this, because I've been hearing a lot of different things and I haven't really heard any specific changes from this league, but I noticed it myself when testing. A lot of people talk about doing maps that have multiple bosses, City Square map being one of the most famous ones. Now, I'm not sure if it was like that last league or if that was just a lot of bogus that people spewed all over the place. But killing bosses that have, or killing maps, doing maps that have multiple bosses in them does not actually matter for this strat. Only one of the bosses will actually drop loot. And the way that it works is that it is the last boss to die that is the one who can actually drop maps, that is. Sorry, not loot in general, they can drop loot. But maps specifically is only one of the bosses in these multiple boss maps that can drop. So when I was doing City Square, and let me tell you, I've done 50 City Square maps alone in the last couple of days, along with Strand maps, along with Courtyard maps, along with Racecourse maps. Like, I've been doing hundreds of maps that have multiple bosses in them. And I realized that, like, wait a minute, I'm not getting maps from every single one of these bosses. It is only the last boss to die that actually drops maps. And it is also the last boss to die that is the one that Maven grabs for her arena fight. So I think there's definitely something there as well. So don't be like super into like, I have to run City Square, nothing else. No, you can run whatever you want. As long as you have destructive play and Maven spawns a bunch of these extra bosses, then it doesn't matter. Because as you can see here, I just got a Cortex map. And it works with the Maven thing, but if you do a City Square map, those 3 map bosses, only one of them will actually drop maps, and it is the last one to die. So do keep that in mind if you're doing this strat, that you can do legit any map that you want to do, as long as it is tier 16, and as long as you have Maven on it, it will be fine. And of course, as long as you have the Atlas tree that I link in the description as well, it will be fine, absolutely no problem whatsoever. So now we're going to go over a little bit in terms of like how it went for me when I did about 200 maps on stream the other day, and exactly how I evaluate that and how I sell them and everything, because I use Pee-wee Stack to validate everything, and I also use TFT Discord to sell them in bulk, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it is the most efficient and easiest way to actually do it. So I'm now finished boss rushing for 4 hours straight, and this is the amount of loot that I got altogether. It is a little bit of everything, a lot of maps, mainly because that is what the like strat focuses on, and we also have a bunch of like other currency and whatever. But so basically it took me 4 hours to run approximately 200 maps. It is not really 200 maps, it is 20 Maven sets, which is everything between 8 to 10 maps depending on how lucky you are actually proccing this node right here, the most toys, which has a chance for Maven to take an extra boss when she's witnessing map bosses. And depending on how much that procs, depends on how fast you can run the invitation itself. But this is all the loot that I got. And looking at Pee-wee Stack, this is all the money that we made. It is a lot of maps, as you can see here. We were also lucky enough to get a Einhar's Memory of Crystal Prisons, which is about 2 div. So you can take that out if you don't really want to count that in, because it hasn't anything to do with the actual strategy itself. But a lot of Maven Vrits, a lot of like other maps, some Cortexes. I was quite unlucky with Cortexes, I only got 2, but it is what it is. The overall profit that I made was 33 div, but my total investment for each set was about 50 chaos, because I spent 45 chaos running 9 maps, and then 5 chaos for the Maven 10 invitation itself. So you kind of deduct 6 div overall from this 33, and what you have left with is about 27 div overall, and you split that in 4 because it took me 4 hours to run all this, and you have about 6.75 div per hour. But remember, it takes some time setting up, and you can also do this faster if you have a stronger build, where you kill bosses faster, you rush to the map boss faster, and you do the Maven 10 invitation as well faster. Because my build was not exceptionally good at doing the Maven 10 fights. I don't have insane damage because I didn't really invest a lot into this build. And I also died quite a bit because, like, I don't know, I'm just kind of bad sometimes, you know. So you can do this a lot faster. But yeah, this is basically the amount of money I made in that time. So I would say this farming strategy is between 6 to 7 div per hour. It also depends on your luck. Sometimes I was really lucky, sometimes I was really unlucky. I would have a map where I got 200 chaos from like 1 minute. I just ran to the boss, killed all of the Maven stuff, like the boss itself and all the bosses that Maven spawn. I would get like 3 conquer maps and this and that and an invitation and whatever, right? So sometimes you get nothing, sometimes you get a lot, sometimes you get like just 1 or 2 maps here and there. I also have the multiplier 105% because we're going to sell this in bulk in TFT. This is the best way to sell conquer maps and all this stuff as well. 1 set of conquer maps is equal to 1 divine in TFT. So it is quite tedious having to sell in TFT, but it is also the best way to make money for a lot of these farming strategies. And also especially if you're using PoE stack that I'm using as well. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will have more videos in the future where I try out different Atlas farming strategies as well. And the main thing that I'm focusing with these videos are pure farming in maps. I know there's a lot of money that you can be making if you actually run these conquer maps yourself, and if you're doing like the invitations and everything. And if you're doing like, for example, expedition, if you do logbooks, if you're doing blight and you do the blight maps, etc. There's a lot of ways that you can obviously make more money by like mapping and then doing something else. But all these videos that I will be making this league, where I do a bunch of different farming strategies, where I try out all these things that I tried last league, and this time I'm more recording them and actually checking like how much money I'm making. Because last league I did like blight and yada yada, and I made 6-7 div per hour, and I tried out deli farming and I made 6-7 div per hour, and I tried expedition and so on and so on. I will only do things that are purely contained to mapping. I will not do logbooks. I will not do blight maps itself. I'm just going to focus on like what does the Atlas itself kind of have to give us. And obviously in this video I did the Maven 10 fights, but that's because you have to do them if you want to continue doing boss rushing with Maven as well. So yeah, but more videos to come, so look out for that. And for now, thank you very much for watching this one, and have a great day.